Good morning, everyone. It's 9 o'clock. We're going to get started. So, without further ado, my name is Bill Bliss, and I'm on the Microsoft Teams team. I've actually been there from the beginning. I'm one of the founders. And I have always been closely associated with the platform, the developer platform, and I am the platform architect on the platform engineering team. So what we're going to talk about today is some of the new things that have happened over the past several months, some of which is a recap of things that have shipped since build, but a lot of it is new for Ignite, that we're announcing this week. So just as a backgrounder, let's talk about what the platform is for. Okay, so the idea is to bring the idea of the developer platform is to bring all the capabilities of some of your favorite tools that you use every day and bring them into the place where you spend a lot of your time and do a lot of your work. And so that includes both the Office 365 applications, of course, but also the partner applications that you see in our store, such as Poly, Trello, GitHub, some of the Adobe applications, and so forth. But you can also supplement them with organizational applications, departmental tools, employee resources, support, things like that. And then some of those have been packaged up into vertical solutions, a lot of which are open source on GitHub now in, say, healthcare, manufacturing, retail, banking, things like that. And we have some booklets at the various booths in the hub to see some of those scenarios. So what is the platform? So again, what they are rich applications that are seamlessly integrated into the team's experience. It includes a number of capabilities, commands and actions, which we'll talk about, bots and connectors, which many of you have already seen, and tabs and modal pop-ups. The modal pop-ups are a little bit new. And again, they're seamlessly integrated into the team's user experience. They're built on top of a foundation of Microsoft Graph, the Bot Framework SDK. Have some interesting things to talk about with both of those today. And also that's new of the past several months, we've been working to make sure that everything in the platform works across all devices, mobile devices and so forth, and we'll be talking about that as well. But beyond just the applications, we also have investing heavily in robust tools for admins to manage and deploy these applications, for both enterprise developers to publish applications into their own store, but also IT admins for managing permissions and deploying them to users so they don't have to search for them. And lastly, on the publishing side, we have tools for developers to publish things to AppSource. And then we also have some interesting announcements today for certification and publisher attestation. We did a little bit of that at Build. We've expanded that for Ignite, and I'll be talking about both. Okay, so let's talk about what's new in the user experience and new to the capabilities of the platform itself. So really briefly, I'm going to show you something that will be out in the public builds in a couple weeks. Hopefully, I should make it before Christmas. This is actually not available in the public builds, but it will be out there shortly. Let's see, 8. Okay. So first of all, so this is our demo tenant, and what we've been doing is changing the way that users discover and launch apps and make it be just a more pleasant user experience. So let's look at all of those things. So one of them is the application details. So this is now, if you remember it before, it used to show things in kind of a list, and we thought it would be more discoverable and more visually pleasing and be able to see more things by showing them in kind of this grid layout. And so that's what we call the apps flyout. The App Store itself has also changed. There's now divided into sections, so we've got popular applications, what's new, and so forth, and all applications. It used to be all you saw was just the all applications and so forth. The rest of it over here hasn't changed. Going back to this, we've changed. Actually, I could do it from here. Let's look at, say, air brake. Actually, this one doesn't have interesting videos. Let's look for something that does. There we go. So we've changed the experience to have a richer, more immersive experience here. And we've also included the stuff that you would normally see on AppSource, so you can actually see more about the application right in line here. So it's a richer way to kind of find more information about the apps that you want to use. The other thing we've done, going back to messaging here, is we've extended that same experience that you just saw over here to the messaging extensions, the ... menu. So you see the same type of thing, and you can now do a search right within here. So you know, you can actually do a search from there. So it's what we found is that people weren't. It was a little bit more difficult than it should have been to find these and launch them. And so we wanted to create a consistent experience across the product. And last but not least, we have a feature that we call, I'm going to launch Planner here. And it's always appeared in the left bar when you're running it here. But now, come on, I can actually pin it and keep it there. So it won't just disappear, so it'll actually be there. And this complements what we released, and I'll be talking about briefly for admins. Admins can also push icons to this area, so that you can actually, users don't have to find them in the store at all. So these are just a few small improvements that we've made in the user experience for discovering and launching apps. And that's the wrong one. There we go. Okay. One of the things that we're very, very happy about, and this is launching in developer preview, the documentation should be live hopefully soon. It's in a pull request right now. Finally, we support single sign-on for tabs. How many times have you've gone into a tab and you have to sign in? Yes. It's harder than it sounds because there's not many good patterns for doing authentication inside an embedded iframe experience. They're inherently insecure and unauthenticated. So now there's a new method or a new function in the tabs SDK, the client SDK, to get an auth token. And you have to register your app with Azure AD, and you have to put your app ID in the manifest and so forth, but we'll take care of kind of calling AD for you and so forth and getting you a token. So very, very happy about this. So no longer, at least with Azure Active Directory, will you have to sign on with your apps. And that's in developer preview. It's in developer preview now, or it will be in the next couple days. And then what happens is, once you consent, you go through, or rather, once you add it, you'll go through this process once where you consent, because you are giving back your login details to an app when you do this. But once you do this, you'll never have to do anything again. So how many people have used or heard of the commands and actions in Teams? Well, of course you have, Victor. Yeah, so a couple of you have. So these are things that I think we initially launched maybe about a year ago, and we've enhanced them greatly since build, and then since has shipped inside the product now. So this is all live. But the point is to allow people to complete tasks while in the flow of their work. So what we looked at is we said, well, you're in the middle of Teams, you're doing something, you may even be talking to somebody about something or completing a task, or somebody asks you to do something, whatever. And typically what you do is you Alt-Tab over to the browser and you log in somewhere and you navigate. Well, why should you have to do that? Why can't you just do it right where you are? So that's what this is for. It's for enabling people to complete tasks while in the flow of their work. And it minimizes the hassle of trying to switch over between apps. So what you see here is there's a couple different kinds. There's messaging extensions. So that ... menu, you can use messaging called messaging extensions. And you invoke that, and you can get a list of things you can do. And then you can also ask for it interactively inside a chat. So here's how it looks. So the idea is, so you see here, you say Contoso Talent, and there's a talent management application for looking for candidates that you're interviewing and screening, things like that. You can actually get a pop-up window that you can actually fill out right in line without having to go somewhere else. And here's how it works in practice. So the message actions here come to life in this scenario. So basically, here's a conversation here between Charlotte and Daniela, and they're basically working together on a project. And they said, okay, there's a new task that we have to add to our list of tasks. Now, they may be managing it with Jira, or they may be using Azure DevOps, or maybe they're using Planner. If this is a marketing thing, they're probably not using the top two, but yeah, go with me here. So, but anyway, the idea here is then you can actually do a messaging extension and say, hey, I want to create a task or an issue or a work item right from within the message. And then you, and then that, what that does, it actually kicks off a workflow or creates a new object, and the data from the message is actually populated in the thing, so you don't have to type or copy paste or anything like that. And when you're done, the app can post something back to the conversation to let people know that the task was created or whatever. This is a cool one. So what we looked at is that a lot of links, when you paste them, they don't really do much or anything because there has to be authentication or whatever. And we said, well, what if we actually took these URLs that people are copying and pasting and unfurled them with a richer experience than you would normally get? So we call that smart link unfurling. And the idea is to enrich the links, the sharing of links between people with custom previews, and also allow them to take actions on things. So here, Harish has pasted a URL, and what you would normally get is something like this. That's the default experience. And by the way, that only works because GitHub is publicly available, but you can also say, you'll have an option in the UI to switch it over to a richer card. This is a much more detailed experience of this thing, often so rich that you don't even have to click on it to find out what it's about. But if you do, there's a button that says View Issue at the bottom. It's very clear what it does. So the idea is, again, to keep people from having to switch between apps all the time and bring the information at where it's being consumed and created. So you can actually combine these actions with bot interactions. So how many people have used Polly, our polling app? A fair number of people. So it's a quick way to create a little poll. But the way you create a poll today, or rather you used to, this is live now as well, is you would say, at Polly, where would you like to go to lunch, or what would you like for lunch, space, question mark, space, pizza, comma, sushi. And it would create a little poll, not terrible, but a little bit geeky. And so we said, well, we have the ability to have this rich interactive experience. Why don't we have a way for bots to have a richer experience for these things? So this is what it looks like. So this is what it looks like today. So where should we meet, at the venue or in the office? Well, in this case, you just click on Polly, and you get an interactive pop-up experience. And this, and I'll talk about this in a little bit, is actually full HTML and JavaScript. So as a developer, you can have an incredibly rich experience that preserves your business logic and your UI investment and so forth. You can actually embed that right within Teams without going anywhere else. So it shows up as a pop-up, and you fill out the poll here. And then before you post it, you get to see the result of what it'll look like, and then you say post to the channel. Now before, everybody in the channel would actually see the creation of the poll. It's a little bit, you'd see the command to create it, which isn't terrible, but it's a little bit goofy. So this one it's a much richer experience. And this leverages the same architecture that we used for tabs. So with tabs, we have the ability to open things up in an iframe and do authentication and all that good stuff. And we're extending that capability to enrich the user experience for bot interactions. So what's interesting about this approach is that it's not just, you can do the HTML JavaScript as well, but you can also have a no-code solution where you can actually specify some things in some fields and some values in the manifest, and there's no code at all, and we'll fill it in for you. You can use an adaptive card with just a little bit of code, some JSON, or you can do the custom web view-based approach with an iframe, as I mentioned earlier. So again, we're trying to make it super, super simple to get information, to just do some simple data collection in a form. Because what we looked at is, as cool as conversational UIs can be, forms work perfectly well, right? They've been around for a long time, and why reinvent the wheel? So we decided to kind of bring that capability into the conversational experience. So another thing that we're very happy to announce this week, and it's actually, we didn't do much of the work, although we work closely with the Power Apps team, is some richer integration with Power Apps. So Power Apps, if you recall, it's a low-code way of building apps. I'm not going to go through this whole presentation, but they've got lots of connectors to different systems. You have ways to store data in the common data service. It's integrated with lots of other different Microsoft products, and there's really great and security and so forth. Now, it's always been possible to take a Power App and make it into a Teams app. Has anybody tried? It's pretty geeky. It's very geeky. You had to create a manifest, and you have to do the magic. You know, it was pretty pointy-headed. Now, that's all different. But actually, before I get into that, let's actually look at what Power Apps are being used. These are from some real Power Apps that are being used by some of our customers. So this is the Tacoma Public Schools, and they use this for the teachers to provision reading assessments and so forth. And this is a Power App running as a tab inside Teams. Telstra, which is the Australian telephone company, they created a portal or an app for their service technicians to use in the field, and they wanted it to work across desktop and mobile, and so they used Power Apps for that. And again, this is what it looks like on the desktop experience, and they've had great results. $16 million Australian dollars annually, they say. And a non-for-profit, American Red Cross. This is an app that people use for ordering supplies. And so they have basically implemented kind of a shopping experience for supplies to be delivered to them instead of having to do something else. And again, it continues this theme of actually allowing people to get stuff done right in the place they are without having to go somewhere else. And you can, one of the cool things about once an app is a Power App, you can use all the features of our app platform or the IT platform for security and deployment and all that stuff because it's just an app as far as Teams. And of course, as I mentioned, it supports mobile as well. So here's what it looks like. You go into the Power Apps portal, and there's a new command called just add to Teams. And then when you click on that, you get this experience where you say add to Teams. You say download app. It saves a file to the disk, and then you just upload it into Teams. Maybe we'll add something so it's even, there's a one-click action. But for right now, this is so much easier than the way it was before, where you had to go into a text file and create a manifest and all that kind of stuff. So all of that is gone, and it's all done for you by Power Apps. So let's look where we're at, what's new in SDKs and APIs. So how many people have written or looked at creating bots? Okay, good. Fair number of you. More people than have used Power Apps, actually. So what's interesting is the current bot framework, this is actually a couple weeks old, this is the point of what I'm going to say here, is 4.5.2. And the way you write a Teams bot is you have a set of extensions that were built on top of the old SDK 3.x. We've had SDK extensions for the 4.x SDK for almost a year. But the Teams docs cover version 3 docs, and the bot framework docs cover 4. It's very confusing. And the samples are very confusing as well. This has been something that has been bothering us for quite some time. Finally, we have some good news, because it's a mess right now. Right now, Teams is a first-class citizen on bot framework. Teams is now in the core bot framework SDK. All of the Teams bot samples are in the bot framework sample repository, and we've done a pretty extensive rewrite, complete rewrite, a little bit over the top, but a pretty extensive rewrite of the existing Teams bot documentation. So the Teams and bot framework SDK 4.6 is released late last week. The Teams 4.x beta SDKs is deprecated right now. It'll still, I guess it'll still work if you get your versions right, but pretend it doesn't exist. And going forward, we are matching the cadence with the bot framework team, where they release a new SDK version every 2 months, and all Team stuff is going to be in there. So what about your existing bots, X dot, 3 dot, whatever or whatever? They'll all keep working. Nothing to worry about there. The underlying protocol hasn't changed. What we've done is just simplified, greatly simplified how you talk to them. So all the new features in the SDK won't be added to the old versions. You can still use them. It's just more work. And of course, we'll address the security issues in the older versions of the SDK. So what's cool about Bot Framework 4.0, 4.x? So it's greatly improved conversation management. There's a consistent programming model across languages. In 3.x, if you looked at like what it looked like in C# versus Node, it was completely different. You could barely tell that they were doing the same thing, even though they were. The bot inspector helps with debugging. It can be pretty difficult sometimes to figure out what's going on with when you're trying to debug bot capabilities. And there's a cool unit testing framework. That was never really easy, or well, it was possible, but it was never really easy in the older versions. So that's cool. But Teams in bot framework is also awesome. So all the bot and messaging extensions, so under the covers, those features that you saw before are actually powered by a set of bot framework features. Under the covers, all that stuff is, it's a different kind of a bot capability. All of that stuff is in the SDK. All of the card types for Teams is in the SDK. We've done all the regression testing, at least as far as we know, for all the versions and everything. So make sure that nothing broke. We did some new helper functions for getting the roster of a team and list the channels of a team and so forth. That's used to be a little bit more manual than it should have been. And again, we've aligned the samples in the documentation. So this is a lot. This has been something we've been working closely with the bot framework team for some time. I've been involved with it personally, and this is going to be so much better than it was before. Okay, switching gears. I mentioned earlier that it's not just bot SDK, but it's also Microsoft Graph. And I'm not going to talk about this much today, as I'll mention shortly. But today, it is very, very difficult. You could even argue, effectively impossible, to use the Microsoft Graph APIs in Teams apps. Is it because they're hard to use? No. Is it because it's hard to authenticate? Well, harder than it should be, but we've figured that out. The biggest problem is that if you try to use the Microsoft Graph SDKs today, it requires group.readWrite.all or group.read.all, which is what that's the English version of that string is what you see in the consent. A tenant admin has to consent to this, and it grants the application the ability to read and write to all groups in the tenant, not just the one you're using the app in, all of them. I mean, most tenant admins will not let an app that they don't control have that. Ours won't. We don't have. I can't write an app and use it in Microsoft. We have to use demo tenants. So effectively, we've got the Microsoft Graph APIs and the Teams apps, and they're really kind of totally separate. I have been working to figure this out and solve this problem for about 2 years, and finally, we have something that does. It's a feature that we call resource-specific consent. If you've been to the Teams platform booth, we have a little thing where you can answer 4 questions and you get a T-shirt. The first question is resource-specific consent. So all of you don't have to go through the spiel. You can just write down resource-specific consent, and we'll stamp it. So anyway, 1/4 of the way to getting yet another T-shirt. But anyway, so you've got resource-specific consent. I'm not going to talk about this too much because I'm going to be doing a demo of this and talking about it in more detail on my session Friday morning in 3:15. Okay, reaching across devices. I mentioned earlier that a lot of the capabilities are now of the desktop platform are now on mobile. So let's look about what this means. So we've always had the ability for using bots and so forth. But when we looked at this and we said this hub for teamwork idea that is what Teams applies just as much to iOS and Android. And so we've been committed to the promise of building once and letting people use the platform wherever they are on any device. But it's been a while, it's taken us a while to actually get there. But now, this has actually also been out there. It's live and released right now, too. Messaging extensions, that stuff you saw before, works on mobile. And you can also collaborate around content with channel tabs. So the idea, but it goes beyond that. So it's messaging extensions and tabs, but also authentication and so forth. Third-party and line of business apps are personal apps. So a personal app, remember I saw earlier when I launched Planner and pinned it to the left? That's what we call a personal app. When we have to talk about it is when we give it a name. And those are coming soon. I'll talk about that in just a sec. But the point is that end users can have a consistent experience no matter what device they use. And the apps are written once by developers, and they don't have to change their code to figure out what's going on in mobile. All the capabilities, including authentication and everything, is there. And I don't know if you've noticed this, it's a little bit hidden, but when you go to the ... menu on the mobile apps, you get a little pop-up thing of the app experience. It's kind of the equivalent of the apps bar on the desktop experience. So if you've ever worked with writing code for mobile devices, the key thing, a web app anyway, is you really have to make sure that it's responsive, right? And what responsive means is that the code knows, it adapts to the size of the screen it's on, and it doesn't just be this tiny little viewport into this big screen and you have to scroll all over the place, which is a terrible experience. And so what it is a way of scaling your UI across devices. Like you see this picture on the left, that's the same code, but it renders differently based on the form factor of the screen. So the way to achieve this is to typically use CSS frameworks. There's a zillion of them out there. CSSframeworks.org has kind of a directory of a lot of them. You can also do it with Power Apps. Power Apps takes care of this for you, and they're making it even easier going forward. So here's what I was saying why the personal apps aren't there yet. So most apps in the team store are not responsive. And the user experience isn't great. So we're going to be working with developers to fix that, but that's why personal apps are not enabled yet. There is a way of doing it. If somebody has one and you know it's good, talk to us. We can enable it for you. But especially for line of business apps where Microsoft can't see what it looks like, it's your app, we can't see anything about it, we want to make sure that there's a good user experience. And if the app doesn't have a good user experience, and maybe the developers just haven't gotten to it yet, or maybe they never will if it's a legacy app, then maybe it shouldn't show up on mobile at all. So that's what we're talking about doing. We tried to avoid having a switch to say this is a mobile-only or desktop-only experience, but we may have to because of this. So, but what's great is that now you can do this in developer preview. There's, just like we have developer preview mode in desktop, we have the same thing now on mobile. You access it by going to the hamburger menu. That's the 3 lines at the top. Settings and about developer preview, and you can flip it on. And on Android, you can even debug. You can view logs and set breakpoints to see what's happening, which if you've ever tried to write any code without the ability to do that, it's a challenge. And this allows you to do that. You can't do that on iOS because it's more locked down. We don't have time to show the video, but it's a pretty cool feature. All right, so I mentioned earlier that we've got, there are lots of tools for managing and deploying applications for your IT admins. So a lot of the developer experience focuses in on the develop and test part of things, right? But when we looked at this, and especially after talking to a lot of IT admins and decision makers, we found out this is really just part of a much bigger life cycle. The big picture is that yes, there's a developer and test thing, and yes, they publish it to AppSource or submit it as a line of business app for your enterprise. But then after that, in large companies, it goes to a decision maker to validate that the app is actually okay to use inside your organization. And then after that, once it's been approved, then somebody has to go and upload it and then configure and assign permissions and assign them to users so that they don't have to figure out how to use them. So this is the big picture that we've been looking at, and what we're doing is we're investing pretty heavily in all aspects of this to make the experience more seamless and easier and better for users and admins. So let's look about what's new in all of these things. So on the app publishing side, I mentioned earlier the Enterprise App Store. We sometimes call it the Line of Business App Store. That's actually been out about a year ago. It's been out for about a year, and we've actually seen pretty strong growth. And Microsoft now has about close to 10, I think. And again, our IT folks are in charge of that part, so we can just help and assist in the development of those. But what's great if you're a developer, today you use this really old tool that is broken a lot of the time called Seller Dashboard. And that thing has been on its last legs for a while now. And we're just about ready to switch over to Partner Center, which is what all the other Office apps, or all the other Microsoft apps use, Xbox and Windows and so forth. It's a much better system. It's centrally maintained by the central team that handles AppSource and so forth. So we're very excited that this is happening. Now on the app validation side, as I mentioned, lots of times, you know, in larger companies, you can't just use an app. It's turned off, and then to be turned back on, something has to happen. So we noticed that a lot of companies turned off apps. And when we asked them, they said, well, you know, or rather, when we asked them why, they told us that made sense. But then also, what does it take to turn them on? And it was a very time-consuming process. Weeks and weeks from the security team or the InfoSec team or the licensing team, whatever it is, it varies across companies. So we said, okay, why don't we create a central repository of this information and publish it so it reduces the amount of time that IT has to spend gathering this information, and we can ask our developers to put it, and we can put it in a common format. So that's what we did. So in May, we announced publisher self-attestation, meaning that they fill out a questionnaire for their privacy and data handling and security and compliance settings, and they give it to us, and then we published it. And we did that for, let's see, it was probably about just under 100 apps at the time. Now it's more close to 150. So we've had a really good response from developers on that. And that's aka.ms app certification. And that's still there, but now, this week, we extended this to Microsoft 365 apps. And this is live now. You go there, and first of all, there's some information about the program now, and also there's a selected set of apps for Outlook and PowerPoint and Word and even Office 365-based web apps and so forth. So that's super cool. And we also announced an app certification program for Teams apps. And so on that same page, if you go to the list of Teams apps, you'll see 3 apps. One of them is down if you were to scroll, if you could scroll on PowerPoint. But anyway, Adobe Sign and Dynamic Signal. And these are apps that have actually, we've taken the information that they gave us, validated that it's true, they're SOC compliant, say, or whatever. Do they do penetration testing or not? And we looked at their architecture diagram, we reviewed their graph privileges to make sure that they weren't asking for more than they needed and so forth. And this is a pilot program, and, but we hope to extend it to more apps in the future in Teams, and then ultimately extend it to Office 365 apps. So this has been a cross-group collaboration across AppSource and Partner Center and the whole Office developer team and everything. So we're super excited about this. And I actually have a theater session on that later today or tomorrow. I should know this, but I forgot. But anyway, in Theater 3, I'll talk about this for 20 minutes in a bit more detail. Okay, so what's new in app management? So this summer, we released a couple of powerful capabilities for managing and deploying apps, as I mentioned. One of them is app setup policy, or app pinning. That's a way for, let's say you want everyone in your organization to have access to Planner. You can actually push that to the tab so that they don't have to discover it and everything. That's been there for a while, and I won't show this. But we also, about a month and a half later, I think, we released per user app permissions policy. It used to be that you could globally block or allow apps for your entire tenant across all users, and that's still there. But now you have the ability to do per user app policy. So here's how this works. So let's say in my tenant, I want to, SurveyMonkey is not an approved tool for my company, so I want to turn it off and make sure that nobody uses it. Nothing against SurveyMonkey, but we personally can't use it because it's not compliant to our policies. So anyway, what you do is you go into the Teams admin tool, admin.teams.microsoft.com, and you go in under Teams apps and you say permission policies. And you say, okay, I want to create a new policy. So you click on it, and you can actually say, you create a new policy called Block SurveyMonkey, and you go into your third-party apps, in this case, because that's what it is. You have control over your own apps and Microsoft apps too, but this one that's where you're going to find it. So you click on that, and you have a choice between allow all apps, allow specific apps and block others, block specific and allow others, or block all of them. For this policy. And you go in, and then you add SurveyMonkey to this policy, and there it is, there's your policy, and then you, there it is in your list of policies, and then you need to go apply it to the set of users to whom it will apply. So you go over to users. In this case, you go into Megan, and you click on policies, and you find the policy that you want to apply to her. And then, once it rolls out, SurveyMonkey is no longer in the list of apps. So again, you can do that for anything. This is just a simple example, but that's how app permission policies work. And we're super excited about this. This was a very highly demanded feature from tenant admins, and a lot of people said, we're not even going to roll out apps until this is there. So we're like, okay, we hear you. So we basically extended, it's actually an extension of what was there for Skype for Business, and we did it for Teams. All right, so wrapping up, here's all the documentation for the Teams developer platform. We look on user voice. Yes, we do. You may think we don't look at it, but we really do, promise. And Stack Overflow. If you're a developer and you have a developer question, go to Stack Overflow and tag it with Microsoft Teams, and we will see it. We actually use, if you're curious, it's kind of interesting, we get feedback developer questions over email, Stack Overflow. We have an internal Stack Overflow that Microsoft employees can use. GitHub issues for our SDKs, of which there are 2 or 3. Anyway, all of those actually we use connectors, webhooks, to pump those into a channel. And then we actually collaborate on that, and we get people's attention and so forth. So we actually use, that's how we do tech support on top of Teams for our developers. OK, so we actually have, how much time left? 9 minutes and 1 second left for some questions, if anybody wants to ask some questions. No questions?
Real quick. So the bots that you're talking about, if I have a bot that's created in Azure right now, can it be transferred over easily?
Yeah, so the question is, if you have a bot in Azure, can you use it? Can it be transferred over easily? The answer is yes. If it's written to the bot framework, all you do is activate so bot framework supports multiple different channels. There's the web channel if you want to use it on a web page, direct line if you want to use it inside an app. And all you do is you go activate it for the Teams channel, and then and then it'll work in Teams right there. If you want to take advantage of things like channels and some of the other features, then you have to write some extra stuff. But yeah.
Question. Sorry. Question here. I hear you tell everything about beautiful tab apps, but how about the left rail apps? Is this exactly the same as the tab apps?
About what?
Left rail apps. Left rail.
Oh, left rail, yes. So, actually, I suppose I can show this. So, let me log in here. So the left rail apps here, that's what I was calling the personal apps. And these are just normal apps that have, they declare themselves that they want to be used in this way. And all of those work. But that's what was the question about mobile? Or?
No, just the left rail app.
Yes, yeah. We call those personal apps. And one of the things we're probably going to do is make that more of a first-class citizen. It's kind of, the way you actually get that to work is, it's not hard or anything, it's just not obvious that that's what you're doing, as much as it could be. So, but yeah, that's all there, and that's actually used a lot. And what we found, for example, one of the reasons we built the app pinning policy, or the app pinning distribution thing, this is the Shifts app that's used for first-line workers. And our customers said, we don't want to have to train our workers to figure out to go to the App Store and do this and everything. We want this to just be there. And so that's one of the reasons we built it. It was for this, but we extended it to all the apps.
Cool. So question about some of the tooling updates. First of all, getting everything up to the same bot framework version is fantastic. That was a big fight over the summer trying to get it all working with the beta stuff. So
I'm amazed you did.
So along with that, does that mean you guys are finally supporting adaptive cards 1.2 in Teams?
Oh yeah, it's not ready for Ignite, but yeah, we're hoping to get that out by the end of the year. in developer preview. Yeah, we're working on it now. So 1.2 should be out, hopefully pretty quickly in developer preview.
Cool.
Hi, I have a quick question here.
Oh,
Back in the room here.
oh, okay.
Hi.
I'm looking at the light.
I'm more like a strategy question on Teams because the more and more examples I'm seeing for like American Red Cross using, an app, on the Teams platform. So from Microsoft perspective, are you guys, is it more like going into a direction of Teams becoming an overarching platform now, and therefore it's not really just for projects to collaborate with each other, the small mini teams to collaborate with each other, but it's actually becoming huge platform itself where you can have hundreds and thousands of people using apps. I'm just trying to understand where should we position Teams.
It's a good question. So we try not to promise too much in terms of like, how big it's going to be or how pervasive it will be. But generally speaking, yes, we do think of it that way. On the other hand, we have to be realistic as well. It's a function of, how popular the apps are a function of how many people are using Teams, how much they're actually allowed to be used inside companies and so forth. So what we do is we closely monitor our monthly active users and first-party apps like our own like Planner and so forth, but also third-party apps and line of business apps. We closely monitor that, and we're seeing pretty strong growth. It's not like we're saying it's going to be the next Windows or anything like that. So I wouldn't, we don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. But yeah, we do think of it as kind of an interesting platform, especially for, again, the concept of getting work done where you're already at.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I had a question about one of the last use case you showed us. Can you actually prevent all members of an Office 365 groups from accessing an app? Or do you have to do it user per user? At the end?
Yeah.
What you show us?
So the ability to use an app is, generally speaking, there are a few exceptions which I can get into, is generally, if it's installed into a team, then anybody on that team can use it. Okay. Now, they all have to have, sometimes you can set up something where, they may not have permissions to log in or whatever, so that's not necessarily a great user experience. But generally speaking, that's the model. And in fact, when I talked about the resource-specific consent, the whole point of that was to preserve that model so that everybody in the team can use it. It's as if the app is a member of the team, but it doesn't give it any privileges anywhere in any other team that it's not a member of.
Right, but if you have multiple teams, they can all use the same app too, right?
Yeah.
But you might not want the business community, for example, when they start building their own apps, for those apps to show up there, right?
Yeah.
So how do you actually prevent the business from accessing apps that they are not supposed to access in the first place?
So there's a couple ways to do it. You can restrict who can add apps in the first place. You can turn, as you saw with the policy stuff, you can actually turn off the ability for people to add apps at all, or just from an approved list. There's lots of controls over what apps can be used, both globally inside the tenant or also inside any team.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, one other question about those setup policies actually. So right now it kind of looks like if you want to have like a whole bunch of different setup policies, like you want to block the one that blocks SurveyMonkey, and say you had another one that wanted to block Trello, but then for like a group of users you wanted to block both. It looks like you got to create 3 policies. It's like A, B, A, and B. There's not a way to like inherit policies and apply multiple policies to users, or?
So what you can do, there's a global policy that is kind of the default.
Okay.
And what's probably easier in that sense is block it for everybody and allow it for just those set of people. And then
Okay.
Then there's still 3, but one of them is there anyway, the global policy. And so it's basically there's a set of policies. I think the way it works is that it grabs the set of policies that apply to the given user, and then we combine them together to do it.
Okay, so you are able to kind of combine those policies in a hierarchy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
About the apps in the App Store, even if the global apps or their own apps, will be there a reporting which apps are installed in the teams or in the personal?
I didn't hear you. What was the question again?
The question is there a reporting which apps from the App Store, in the Teams App Store, will be used by the users?
Oh, yes. Let's see, is that there now? I can't remember if it's there yet or not.
Which app will be installed
Yeah, there's,
in Teams, in special teams also?
I can't remember if it's there or not. I know we're working on it. The ability for people to see what apps are being used. Application reporting is definitely being worked on. I don't think it's out yet, but we're definitely working on it.
Okay, thank you.
Question with regard to the two worlds of the Office 365 group inbox and Teams.
Yep.
Interested from a strategy perspective what your vision is of that, if there is a way programmatically or otherwise in your roadmap to allow visibility into the Teams inbox.
Yeah, so the background of this is that Teams is built on top of Office 365 groups, and Office 365 group is composed of a mailbox, and a calendar, but also a SharePoint team site, planners added on, and so forth. And then the question was about the mailbox portion, is that visible in Teams? So to be honest, we haven't gotten a lot of requests for that. So inside Microsoft, people were using that feature a lot. We didn't see a ton of usage outside of Microsoft, and perhaps that was a function of it wasn't really in the main Outlook client. It was on the web version for a long time, so maybe that's why. We haven't gotten a lot of requests for it, and we don't quite understand, or at least I don't understand the scenarios that people are looking for. We're certainly not against it. We just haven't heard it. What would you use it for?
I think the reason it's not used is because to users, they don't understand how the two connect together. They're two completely separate worlds.
Yeah.
Never the twain do meet. So if it was visible, even just mapped as a conversation, just the inbox portion, then it would be intuitive and you would see the connection. But today they're so separate,
Yeah.
the users just don't understand how they relate to each other.
Yeah, but it could, yeah, I think our concern might be that it would be, like, what's the difference between the inbox and the general channel, say, or any other channel? So, but yeah, I mean, we've talked about it, and there's some people that really, do use it, and the fact that you can't see the two. We talked before about having the email a channel feature integrate the two. We weren't able to pull that off, unfortunately. But
I'll give you a use case where it would be really great. We have a Office 365 group for IT security response. So if anyone in the company feels that there's something questionable or they want IT to check on it, then they send an email to this group. So now in IT, we'd like to follow up on that email within Teams because that's our collaboration platform. But we're stuck in this kind of old email world because it's in the Office 365 inbox.
so the way we use this feature, but there's an aspect of it that makes it harder than it is to actually use the email a channel feature. And what we do is you can, it's a pain, but you can create an alias. The problem with the email a channel feature is that the address can't be added to distribution lists and so forth very easily, and it's got this goofy long name. There is a way of creating an alias for it, and that's what we use. But you're right, that's an interesting case. But you could also say that it should be easier to create a user-friendly alias for a channel address that just goes to a channel, because we already have that feature. But yeah, it's a good question. We don't have any current plans for it though. Okay, I think.
Question.
Yes.
Is it possible to integrate Microsoft Teams with ADFS on-premise?
The ADFS?
Active Directory. On-premise, I mean, not in cloud.
Oh. authenticate teams with ADFS?
Yes.
That's a good question. I don't. That's not even really a Teams question. I don't know the answer. I don't know whether that actually is, whether that would work. We have to get a token from Azure Active Directory, and we can't take a token from something that we don't trust and we don't know how to find. So but maybe there's a way of achieving that same effect. That's a good question. I don't know. Yeah, the identity, if there's a booth for the Azure Active Directory team, that's really an Azure Active Directory question. You could ask them, because maybe there's a way of wiring it up so that you can have that same effect. I don't think we could do it directly, but we might be able to, there might be a way of doing it indirectly.
Thank you.